welcome back to another Renee's Corner video. I'm Renae, and today today we're going to be talking about what grad school looks like in the summer. And so for me, as a clinical psychology student, it looks a little different than like a regular PhD student. And so I'll talk about those differences towards the end of the video when I start talking about my goals for the summer, okay? So yeah, so if you're interested in how grad students spend their summers, regularly, if we weren't in this pandemic, stay tuned and we'll get right started. We'll get started right now. Okay, so one of the first things that grad students do, and probably like the primary goal of summertime, is to get research done. And so what that can look like is a bunch of different things. It could look like finishing a master's thesis or starting a master's thesis or finishing or starting a dissertation. It could also look like collecting data or analyzing data for the summer, or even writing a manuscript or 2 or 3. It just really depends on what your program looks for and like what sort of research goals you have. And it's really a good time to get all of this research stuff done, because during the school year, oftentimes you have coursework, you have other obligations, TAing or teacher assisting or research assisting, and so you can't really get your research done sometimes because you have a lot of other responsibilities during the fall and the spring semester. But in the summer semester, most of those responsibilities are gone. So you can really, hone in and focus on your research and get a lot of the little nitty-gritty steps done, so that in the school year, you're not really focused on, I won't say you're not really focused on getting them done, but a lot of it could be completed during the summertime, right? Also involved in the research side of this is catching up on readings. And so I know I do this in the summertime, so it's really hard for me to balance the readings for my coursework and just, keeping up with the academic world readings. And so what I do during the school year is I make a list of readings that I'm like, oh, I should come back to this in the summer. Oh, I need to review this to help me with whatever. And so I'll put all of those and I'll mark them in like Zatoro, and I put to read for the summer basically. And then during the summertime, I have abundant free time to read the articles and news things that I need to read to stay up to date on what's going on in the research world in my research area. So the next thing that grad students often do during the summer is professional development. And so this summer, it didn't really work out that well because Corona and the nation is shut down, semi-shut down right now. So basically, typically in the summer, a lot of grad students go to professional conferences. So for psychology, APA has a conference, APS has a conference during the summer, and those are times where you can present posters and papers and do workshops and really do some of those professional development things that you can't necessarily do during the school year if you're like a teacher assistant or a research assistant in a big study. And so the summertime is a great time to focus on professional development. There's also, I know that I did this last summer and I'm basically doing it again this summer, is doing a lot of workshops and trainings that I wouldn't have been able to go to during the school year because I have class, I have clients. There's just a lot of stuff like interfering with me being able to go to workshops. And so I know that during the summer, a lot of grad students do workshops and things. And then the last thing for professional development is getting ready and gearing up to apply for scholarships, fellowships, grants and things like that. I know a lot of that takes place during the summer. At least what I've seen from grad students is that a lot of the fellowship stuff opens up in the fall, but you can get a good chunk of the work done during the summer before you apply. Okay, so then the last sort of bucket of things that grad students do are like personal goals / self-care. And so I know that a lot of grad students travel, and this includes travels to and from conferences or vacations, things like that. A lot of grad students set new goals. I know for me during the summer, I do a lot of content creation. And so I've been having like idea overload of things to do for this platform, my Instagram platform, and things like that. And so I know that a lot of the grad school scholars that are also influencers spend our summers doing a ton of content planning so that during the school year we don't have to really think about what content we need to put out. We just gotta put it out, right? And travel, new goals, content creation. Oh, and then the last thing is that sometimes in this personal goals bucket, a lot of grad students like do a lot of self-care indulgence. And so what I mean by that is like self-care is never, you can like never do too much of it, I guess, unless it's like interfering with you being productive. But during the summertime, you can really focus on doing the self-care things that you don't necessarily have the time to do during the school year. So like for me, I have a really hard time balancing working out during the school year, but in the summer I work out a lot. Like I work out 5 days a week during the summertime. And so I'm trying to be able to integrate that into the school year, but I know that during the summer, that's like an hour or an hour and a half of solid me time that sometimes during the school year I don't necessarily get. So another point I wanted to make in this video is I wanted to say that sometimes the summer period is really daunting because it has, you know, endless possibilities, and it's sometimes really hard to make the most of your summer. And so what I do to make my summer the most productive that it can be is that I make a list of goals at the beginning of the summer of things that I want to get done. And then I also highly structure my day so that I'm working on school stuff from like 9 to 4, and then from, you know, 5 till whenever I'm doing, you know, stuff for me and like reading or like watching YouTube or like knitting or whatever it is that I'm doing, because sometimes during the summer I feel like I have all this stuff to do and I could be working literally all the time. And so in order for me to have healthier boundaries, I set a really well-structured schedule. And then with the goals things, I would highly suggest, in the same way that I do a semester plan, I sort of do that in the summer too. So I list out the goals and I list out every single step that needs to be done for each of the goals, and then I'll just do them week by week to make sure that I hit the goals. I have a semester plan video if you're interested in that. There are like 2 or 3 of them at this point. And so lastly, my goals for this summer are to finish my thesis, which I literally just did like 3 days ago. No. So this video comes out on Monday and I defended last Thursday when this video comes out. And it was great, wonderful. There is a lab manuscript that I want to get out this summer. I want to start a project with my advisor and one of her colleagues at another school. And we're also thinking about starting another project in addition to this other. It's like basically get some projects started and get them done so that they can be manuscripts. My goal is really to content create. I have videos scheduled all the way through like October at this point, and like ideas, and I've planned it out really well. And so that was one of my main goals for this summer. And then the last goal is to start narrowing down a dissertation topic and or starting the literature review for that. Is that gonna happen? I don't know, because it's already like June 15th and we haven't started on it at all. So those are my goals for this summer, and that is sort of what like a summer in grad school looks like. And so for clinical psychology students, it's a little different. At least in my program, during the summer we still see clients, and some of us still have like external placements. So like if I was at one of the hospital settings, I would still be working hypothetically if COVID wasn't around, but it just really depends. So like the clinical work part of grad school for me doesn't really stop during the summer, and so I just continue. Like I still see clients, I'm still getting new clients. I'm doing a lot of professional development around client work, especially as we have moved to telemedicine, and just things like that. So yeah, summers are a great time to get a lot of work done, but it's also a time where you can get super overwhelmed with all the stuff that you can get done. Which I found that I was doing sort of like in the month of May. I was like too overwhelmed, honestly. But here we are, we're making it work, and that's basically it. So if you have watched to this far, leave a green emoji, and be sure to follow me over on my social media. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's really it. I don't really use Snapchat anymore. And yeah, that's basically it. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and I love you all so much. Bye.